Hey, thanks for tuning in. This video specifically is for anyone that wants to add the consignment features into their workbook and they downloaded the workbook before February 10th of 2019, if that matters. I've already added the features into anyone that downloads it from today going forward, but if you have clients that you do consignment for, you'll definitely want to check out these features and consider adding them to your workbook. So there's two parts. The first one we're looking at right now, it's the consignment report. And this is something that you can use to keep track on all your clients. So you would have a tab for each client, and you can say their name, the terms of the agreement, the percentage split, and the percentage is how much the consignment your client will get in the end. There's some summaries here, so how many items are currently on consignment, how many have sold, total consignment earnings, and also total consignment fees. So how much have you collected from this consignment? And a lot of this is auto-populated, so let me just walk you through it. You would enter the item ID and also the date you consigned it with, they consigned with you, and any comments about the item and when you actually paid out for the item. But if you put in the item ID number, the other tabs will populate for the most part. I'm not sure if I'm using, it won't populate right now because I don't have any data in this workbook. But when you put in the item ID, the brand, you'll see there's formulas. The item, kind of the, like is it a skirt or whatever, will populate there. It'll show the status if it's sold or consigned. The net earnings, so it'll be, since there's no cost to this item in your inventory tab, your net earnings will be basic as your, there's no other cost taken out. So for Poshmark, after the 20%, somebody sold for 20, this number will say 16. It'll pull in the date sold and also the payout amount to the client, and then you can write down when you actually paid it. And so this tab you can kind of duplicate for each client that you have. Keep track of it. But right now I'm going to show you how to actually get this file and also how to insert it into your workbook. So if you go to the website Reselling for Profit and you want to go to Consignment Add-on for the tracking workbook, right now it's the first blog article there, but it might have moved by the time you see this. So when you click it, it'll have everything that I'm talking about right now written out. So if you feel like following along with the text, you're welcome to do that. But what you want to do is you want to go to this link, which of course is a bit.ly link. We love those. What will actually happen is that it'll ask you if you want to make a copy of the consignment workbook. So just like you, so you want to make a copy. I already have it open, so we don't delay the process, but it will make a copy like it did when you originally got the Google Sheet. And by the way, this video is only for people who have Google Sheets version of the workbook. If you have the Excel version, just email me and I'll work with you. I'll insert it for you or send you something to put in, but I'll help you out, don't worry. So if you have the Google Sheets open, the consignment tab, you will also want to open up your workbook. So right now this will be the one that we'll be using. It's just a blank workbook. So what you want to do is down on the bottom left, you want to right click and select copy to. And what it will do is give you the option to copy it over to a file. You got to find your workbook basically. Let's hope I find it. Okay, so just a moment, I have to switch all my different, I have a lot of different names that I'm under, yeah, so don't mind me. So you want to be using under the same login, so that was my issue why I couldn't open it before. So now it's going to open, and what I will want to do is I'm going to right click and select copy to. And please don't write anything into these cells because this is a shareable workbook, I believe. Or actually, no, it's a copy, so you don't worry about it. But see, there's my consignment tutorial. I copied in there. You saw all my other folders. And sheet success copied successfully. Okay. So when you go to your workbook, it will most likely put it to the very right. So I will scroll to the right and open it here. And it will now have copied over with the formulas that were in there. But it should work unless you renamed any of the tabs, specifically the sales and inventory tabs, to say sales or inventory. And then for the, my dog just walked in. Hello. Oh, he has a treat. Goodbye. So when you put in an item ID, let's see if this works. It'll put in all the data. I think item number 101 is an active SKU. But yeah, so now it'll be in here and see. Once I put in 50% as the split with my client, which has to be a percentage, it'll calculate the payout. And here you just write what date you actually pay them, so you can keep track of which one you actually paid and which one you didn't, because ultimately I would say you want to write down the item ID of all the items that are active, and you'll be updating the payout date kind of depending when you pay it out. And you can see that one item has sold, and yeah, your earnings and your fees, since it's 50-50. My recommendation is whenever you do a payout, to put the entire total into the expenses tab. So I would do like consignment, and for item I would put like the name of the clients, and so you paid them $50 on February 5th. If you're using receipt number, you do that. That way the cash outflow will be recorded on the summary tab. Now you're wondering how will, so here's the second part of the consignment feature. It is possible to see your consignment breakdown on the summary tab. We're specifically going to use, down below, if you remember, there's a personal section. Well, we can actually make it so if you change the personal cell to consignment, it'll do the same thing. It'll give you a subtotal. So I will go over to now the sales tab, and what we want to do is go over to the sales type column and see how there's multiple options for a drop down. So right now we have resale, personal, maybe even boutique. I added that in kind of in one of the it was a tiny edit. But what you want to do is, what we're going to do is add consignment as an option here. So you want to right click and go to data validation, scroll down so it's under conditional formatting, and just write comma consignment in this field, so criteria, a list of items. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to copy that down. I apologize for the background music. When my dog walked in, the door opened, even though it was closed, and my boyfriend's listening to something on speaker downstairs. So hopefully you don't hear it at all. I have no idea what it's about. But anyways, now, sorry, I might have done that really fast, but you can now select consignment, and now you want to copy down all these cells down. So you want to copy and then select all the cells using Ctrl-Shift down and pasting. Just only do that when to the rows below what you've already done. So if you've already put in sales for like 100 rows, you want to start on row 101, because that way nothing up top changes. Of course you can, but if you want to assign consignment to that one, you can do it individually. I'm just afraid that if you've already filled out like personal on some of them or boutique, it'll overwrite it if you copy and paste the kind of the cell over that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, once you put in consignment as an option, so I'll do an example here, that this one is consignment. I'll do two of them. So there's a $15 one and a $10 one. So now when I go to summary tab, instead of personal, what we can do is put in consignment, and it will show you the subtotal of net sales. It'll momentarily load, but basically now you have your net sales by each month, and you know in your expenses tab how much you kind of paid out to your clients, so you can see your total profit for your consignment portion of your business. It's still loading, but hopefully it'll load momentarily, but that's pretty much it. You just have to add in that drop down here as a consignment as an option. Every time you have a consignment sale, mark it as that, and then you can see the breakdown here in the consignment. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And I'm about to end the video once we see that net sales finally update. But as you know, whenever I use the software to record videos, it slows everything down. So yeah, see how there's $25 and $18, so that's how it works. Hopefully that works for you, but let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.